Hello and welcome. All right, so you are probably watching this because I sent you here. I probably sent you here because you were asking the question, how do I summon a demon to do A, B, or C? Or something similar to that question. I do get this question a lot, and so I thought I would put the answer into a video. Saves time, etc., etc. So my answer is always the same. Learn how to do magic. Learn your foundational practices. Go through the training. Too many people are believing that they can just summon a spirit and poof, all their problems are solved. But this false perception does seem to have arisen from short form content like a 30-second video on TikTok telling you that if you summon X, Y, Z Daemon, you can have all your wishes come true, make loads of money, and have whoever you want just fall into your arms. What they tell you is that you can just call the spirit and get it all, simple as that. And that is exactly the false impression so many people are getting. But sorry to say, it's not like that at all. Please understand that that is not how any of this works at all. So in order to do this, you need to go through the training. And that's also not an overnight thing. Don't think that in a week's time or a month's time, you're going to be an all-powerful witch and you're going to be able to like summon spirits out of the blue and bring everything you want into your life. It's just not going to happen. This can take years to practice, to hone your skills and everything else. And if you don't have that sort of time, then I would suggest forgetting about it or at least putting it aside for the time being. Don't even bother pursuing magic because you're going to be trying to force things that should not be forced in the first place. You need to go through the foundational training. So what do you do? This involves things like meditation, breath work, protection work, and cleansing. Especially if you are going to get into spirit work, it involves discerning spirits to make sure that you're not picking up astral parasites or astral larvae. And if you are, you know how to get rid of them because you've already done the protection and cleansing work. You know how to deal with that. It involves getting yourself into a trance state and understanding how trance works. It involves energy work, the movement of energy, the building up and releasing of energy. There are a lot of things that are involved in magic and doing magic, and you have to understand all of this before you can go and talk to spirits. Why? Because you need to be able to sit still for long periods of time in order to summon, call, or bring forth a spirit in order to work with it. You need to have developed your psychic senses at least to a point where you can use either your own inner psychic senses to listen to the spirit and hear what's going on, or in order to use a pendulum or to read the tarot cards, for instance, to get that communication that you need, the answers that you need. If you ask questions, you need to get answers. That could be through the form of dreams. So you need to be able to interpret the dreams and do dream work itself. It could be through a form of tarot cards or pendulum. But if you don't know how to read tarot cards or even use a pendulum, or you haven't even developed your psychic senses in the slightest, all you're going to do is you're going to sit there, call the spirit, and nothing's going to happen because you haven't done the work. You don't know how to actually talk to the spirit and interact with the spirit. You have to get yourself into a trance state so that you can bring yourself into a liminal or between state so that you can actually experience these spirits. They don't live here. They don't live in this physical reality. They live in a between state that we might call a parallel dimension or a universe. You will be shifting from one consciousness into another consciousness, and therefore you need to be able to concentrate. You need to be able to bring yourself into one pointed focus. You need to be able to bring yourself into that trance state to shift between those realities. So you have all this stuff that you need to do before you can actually get to the point where you are communicating with spirits. So where do you get this training? There's thousands of books out there at the moment, and there are a lot of courses also. The difficulty is that there is a lot of misinformation out there as well. So first thing you can do is go and check out some of the book reviews that I've done. Just search through my channel. That will give you an idea of texts that might interest you. You can also seek out some good courses. I will recommend Jason Miller. He's got some great works out there, books and courses. Or what you can do is stick with me and get my books and training. So I have two books that you can have a look at. The first one is The Reality of Things, and the second one is The Black Crow. They kind of like lead on from one another. The reality of things is really an introduction into magic itself, and it gives you a bit of a taste of witchcraft, Wicca, ceremonial magic, etc., etc., etc. And because you're getting that slight taste of each little individual pursuit or aspect of magic, it allows you to get an understanding or a direction that you might want to actually go in. The Black Crow itself is very much a foundational training book, so you can go through that. But as I say, the two do kind of go hand in hand. I have, because I wrote those books 10 or 11 or maybe even 12 years ago now. But more recently, I've created the training program for the Temple of the Horned Serpent, which will take you through everything you need from start to finish. I do suggest taking a year to go through all of the training in the first degree Temple of the Horned Serpent foundational training. But after that, you can go off and do whatever you need to do. You have all of the foundations you need. You have done the energy work. You have done the trance work. You understand trance, how to get into trance. You've even I even take you on journeys to go and meet the elemental kings, so you actually interact with spirits and the ancestors, etc., etc. So you've got all of the foundational practice or the foundational work that you need, and you can go off and go and seek out the spirits. Now, if your reason for wanting to talk to demons is an urgent matter, such as you need to get money like really, really quickly, like in the next week or two, then I would suggest rather put this pursuit aside and resolve that issue another way. You are not going to be able to learn how to summon the spirits overnight, so you will just be wasting precious time at the end of the day, time that you could be spending on actually solving the problem. Once you have solved that problem yourself and you want to come back to magic, then go for it. But also take with you the knowledge that you didn't need magic to solve the problem after all in the first place. So I hope that answers your question. Probably not the answer you were hoping for, but it is the honest one, the practical one. If anybody tells you any different, if they tell you that they can initiate you into magic and you'll be able to practice immediately for the low price of $10,000, don't believe a word they say. All right, and that is that. Thanks for watching and be safe.